George Floyd's death in Minneapolis has impacted local suburbs, resulting in local cities reviewing their own policies. Sonia Goins explains how Floyd's passing has affected the city of Golden Valley.
The city of Golden Valley is tackling systemic racism by implementing policies that are more inclusive and diverse. This comes on the heels of the George Floyd case. Floyd is the African-American man who died while being arrested by a white Minneapolis police officer. The George Floyd case had a profound effect on Golden Valley city leaders. It caused them to take a closer look at race relations in the city.
It has forced us to really push for these open conversations, these courageous conversations, and talk about things that are easily uneasy to talk about.
The city was already working on a plan to be more inclusive before the Floyd case. Mayor Shep Harris says before they can go forward, they need to admit their past wrongs. So the city reached out to 2 African-American residents who were harassed and harmed by the police department. In 1970, the city was found guilty of racially profiling and harassing African-American resident Ollie Lyle over a 9-month period with traffic stops, speeding tickets, and illegal imprisonment. And 15 years ago, Golden Valley African-American resident and community leader Al Hickson was chased, physically assaulted, and pepper sprayed by Golden Valley police officers who said they mistook him for a bank robbery suspect, despite 911 transcripts that described a white suspect. It resulted in a $1.1 million settlement. The city recently held open forums and meetings with its Trust, Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Social Justice Task Force. That led to recommendations to improve race relations. The task force suggested hiring an equity manager and actively recruiting in communities of color. They also want to seek out contracts with businesses owned by people of color. The team also included creating more services and programs to engage communities of color.
And I think right now is a great time to, take a look at what could be improved. And, I think creating a group to look into this makes a lot of sense, and looking for opportunities to improve.
The City Council approved the recommendations by the task force at last night's City Council meeting. For more information on this story, check out our social media pages or log on to ccxmedia.org. In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The Golden Valley City Council approved the recommendations at this week's City Council meeting. Now to a significant construction project in Golden Valley that involves cool new technology. Neil Persley takes us there.
What's going on in Winnetka Avenue this summer is we are replacing old large diameter pipeline, dates to the 1950s, and replacing it with new modern materials. This is part of our Metro Beltline project that's been going on for several years, where we've been replacing more than 60 miles of large diameter, high pressure pipeline that's really reached the end of its life.
This pipeline project has been going on for about 8 years, but new this year, CenterPoint Energy has deployed 2 machines, brand new, that help them do the process a lot safer. And let me tell you, these machines really suck.
The ZVAC is an acronym for Zero Emissions Vacuum and Compressor.
Before working on the pipeline, the gas is turned off at a valve upstream.
What we are doing is isolating a section of pipeline, and we still have that gas that is in that isolated section.
The ZVAC solves that problem.
We are able to hook up to these units and literally pull that gas out and then push it to the place that we need it to go.
The ZVAC machines are beneficial in 2 ways.
Historically, whenever we have the isolated section, we would lower that pressure to whatever pressure we can get it to. There's always been that little extra pocket of gas that we had no way of getting rid of, so we would vent that naturally to the atmosphere.
CenterPoint Energy now has 2 ZVAC units at work around the metro.
This equipment allows us to safely pull that gas and keep it in the system.
Think of a giant vacuum cleaner or bicycle pump sucking gas out of one section and blowing it around a valve into another.
Very minimal emissions. We're very concerned about the greenhouse gas emissions that were previously being released, and we're able to keep that in the ground, keep it in the system, and push it up to people's houses.
The project here on Winnetka Avenue should be finished by this fall.
In Golden Valley, Neil Persley, CCX News.
A special birthday celebration in Plymouth required many candles, but resulted in many smiles. Here's reporter Pafua Yang.
Hi everyone, I'm Pafua Yang. I'm at the Waters of Plymouth, which is a senior living community. And despite COVID-19, one family figured out how to celebrate their mom's 100th birthday. And I have Deb Schultz here with me. Your mom, Helen, is having a birthday party today, and it's not a traditional one, is it?
No, not at all. We had big plans for a fantastic celebration, but we're doing what we can to adapt, and the Waters has been wonderful about helping us.
Yeah, and I see that there's a band here. Can you talk about that?
Yes, my mother is a very social butterfly. She has a lot of friends. She loves music, and this is a group that she's known for 50 years. They're out of Nashville, and they flew up for her birthday to play for her.
Happy birthday, dear Helen. Happy birthday to you.
Why is it important for you and your family to throw something like this and to honor your mom?
You know, parents are unbelievably fabulous to have in your life for this long. I appreciate so much of what my mom has done for me, and we would do anything for her. And we just want to make it very special, and you know, 100 years doesn't come along that often. So for her to still be not really active anymore, but her mind is still really good, and she just appreciates everything that we do. She's very grateful.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.